tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186. Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Link to Literacy is gearing up for our second annual Wordstock event at Antelope Park on Saturday, August 24th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is a community-wide book swap with a festival feel located near the playground with a free bookstore in the enclosed shelter. It's fun for the entire family and for all ages. You'll enjoy food trucks, live music, kids' activities, a reading corner with celebrity authors and narrators, and of course, free books for all kids and adults. Go to linktoliteracy.org to get the full story and then make plans to attend Wordstock.
You already know that Select Plumbing takes care of all your plumbing needs, including water heaters, faucet repairs, leaks, drips, sump pumps, and more. Now, they're able to help you with your heating and air conditioning as well. Select Plumbing has recently expanded into residential heating and air, and they're excited to bring this new service to their complete list of plumbing services. Call to book an appointment today at 402-560-6197 or go to selectplumbinginc.com. Serving Lincoln, Seward, Milford, and the surrounding areas.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend.
Serve Nebraska is inviting you to help thank volunteers for their service to our communities. The Step Forward Awards are Nebraska's highest awards for volunteer service, and you can show your appreciation for their hard work by attending the awards luncheon coming up on October 4th in Omaha. To register, visit serve.nebraska.gov and click Register Now. Made possible by sponsors like Omaha Public Power District. Paid for by Serve Nebraska, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road.
This is the Happy Hour.
You guys going to happy hour?
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America.
Yeah, maybe I'll go for a couple.
Here are your hosts, Nick Sainert.
I am a huge guy.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
C is for chunk.
Brought to you by Empire Fence and Netting on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
This is the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick Sainert, no Austin Norman as his week is over. Rico is back. Hello, Rico.
Yeller.
How's the day?
Fantastic.
Welcome back.
I
Bienvenidos.
missed you guys. Not really. I didn't miss you guys at all.
Bienvenidos. Welcome back. How was the week?
It was good. It was really good. I did a lot of errand running.
Okay.
But I did some grilling as I usually do on my week off and got some delicious steaks.
How many times did you grill?
4 out of the 5 days.
Okay. That's not too bad.
4 out of the 5 days. got some steaks, some ribs. I tried my hand at burnt ends.
Okay.
I messed up, which is expected. I ran out of pellets. I forgot to check it before.
Ooh.
So some point during the cooking process, I go out there and I go, that's not the right heat. I open it up and it's empty. I'm like, well,
oh no,
that's bad. So I poured them back in and I was like, I don't know, I'll add like another 10 minutes or so. I don't know. I feel like I'd messed
Just
up.
ruined them a little bit.
Yeah, I'd messed up on the burnt ends. The
That's
ribs
fine.
were delicious. The steaks were delicious. So we're
good. Good stuff. Well, good. I'm glad you had a good week. I'm glad that you're back. Did you and Rachel coordinate it where she took a week off too?
No, she took Friday off though.
Okay.
So
I was gonna say, because I know previously you guys have coordinated where you both will take a week off. You still send the kids to daycare, and you're just like, "Hey, we're here,
hanging out."
That's all it is. Anyway, what was the most exciting activity that you did all week?
Won a national championship.
Okay, with
Nebraska.
Okay, sounds good. Have you gotten better at the game?
I think I have. I figured out a little bit more on the defensive side. Still not great, but a little bit more. And the offensive side is easier now.
Yeah.
So a little bit good there. We did go to Grand Island for a friend's kid's birthday, a 3-year-old birthday party.
Kid's birthday, huh?
Yep, it was fun.
Okay.
Saw some family order out there.
Good stuff.
Shout out to Grand Island. It was a good time.
I'm glad you're back, Rico.
Thanks.
It was good. I had a good couple of shows with Austin.
I know, it's the happier hour is what Austin calls it.
I'm glad he does. He mentioned, actually, I just did get a text from Austin over the weekend.
Oh yeah.
Not to throw him under the bus or anything, but I'm going to a little bit here. Austin sent me a text on Friday at 9:12 p.m.
Oh no.
I know it's not my show, but I might kick Rico out of happy hour on Monday so we can talk about Schwellenbach.
Does he want to come in and talk about Schwelle? Because I've seen Schwelle's stats and I've seen some highlights.
Yes.
But as everyone knows, I can't go into depth as well as Nick and Austin. They're just bigger baseball guys than I.
Yeah.
I could go into depth about the Olympics that's been going on because I sat down and I watched a whole lot of that.
We're going to talk about Schwelle in the crossover.
Okay.
So former Husker pitcher Spencer Schwellenbach carving up Major League Baseball hitters right now. We'll dive into that in the crossover. We'll also dive into the Chicago White Sox are making history, not in a good way though. Not in a good way. Jake Sorensen, actually, I'm gonna take his tweet. One thing that he sent today. The Twins and Royals have only lost a combined 2 games against the Chicago White Sox this season.
Yeah.
The Royals 12-1 against them. The Twins 12-1 against the Chicago White Sox this season. White Sox are on a historic pace to be bad. Oakland Athletics, not so much. They're fine. They're bad, but they're fine. But the Chicago White Sox are next level terrible. And a year ago today, Rico, I'll ask you, what happened with the Chicago White Sox?
I did see it, so it's kind of cheating. Tim Anderson went down.
Yes. Down goes Anderson. Jose Ramirez knocks Tim Anderson, who was at that time Chicago White Sox shortstop, out. Cold-blooded. Knocked him out.
Caught him on the chin. No look.
And since that day, the Chicago White Sox have gone 44-120.
And Tim Anderson has been bad.
And Tim Anderson is bad. So the demise of Tim Anderson came from the right arm, the right fist of Jose Ramirez.
It was like a blind swing.
Nobody even saw it.
It was just a quick little clink.
Right
on the chin.
Speaking of punches, did you watch or see Bud Crawford's fight on Saturday?
I did not watch the fight. I saw the highlights. It did go the distance, and Crawford got the dub. But I also went through some of the comments on some of the videos, and a lot of people saying that now the Canelo fight won't happen because Bud didn't look as impressive. And my thought is
37.
My thought is he's still undefeated.
He is 41-0.
He's got 4 belts. I feel like it would be ridiculous to not schedule the Canelo fight, regardless, because it's going to bring in a lot of money. They're both very big names in the boxing world.
So
I think it'd be a good fight.
402-464. I got to go through this. 402-464-5685. Honda Lincoln Hotline and the Starter Heyman text line are both open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Allo Channel 961, all places for you guys to get in touch with us. You can always reach out to us on Twitter, Nick_Sainert at Radio Rico AC as well. First of all, number 1, let us know, did you watch the fight? Number 2, your thoughts on it. Number 3, how'd you feel about the Eminem pre-fight concert? Because I didn't have an issue that it was Eminem. A lot of people did. Why? I didn't have an issue that it was the Eminem. I found myself in a crowd of Eminem haters
Ooh,
on
really?
Saturday.
There are Eminem haters.
He got called, yes. They were a little bit older generation.
Oh, okay.
Older generation, but got called Eminem haters. And then we had some younger generation folks, younger than me, come up and say, oh, yeah, his new stuff sucks. I'm like, new stuff always sucks.
Yeah.
It's the old stuff that's good. And that's why he played songs like Lose Yourself. And he played
that sweet spot that I grew up in. That's the Eminem.
I thought it was great. I thought I enjoyed the pre-fight concert. I thought it dragged on a little bit. The Crawford fight didn't start until 11:54 Central Time.
Oh my goodness.
A little bit of an issue there, especially when the co-main event ended at about 10:45.
Oh, so he had like an hour.
It was like an hour. It was like an hour and 10 minutes or so.
That's tough.
Yes.
It was 11:55 Central, so that'd be what,
9:55 West Coast time.
About 10 o'clock. Yeah, I mean that's.
They were outside, which was cool. Cool little venue there. But now there's a lot of talks about how Bud needs to fight Memorial Stadium and all that stuff. So we'll see.
Of course.
I don't know. Canelo probably wouldn't do it though.
No, Canelo would not come to Nebraska, Omaha, Lincoln, whatever to fight Bud. You got to go to probably Vegas. That fight's got to happen in Vegas. Like it's just
probably 402-464-5685 Honda of Lincoln hotline, Starter Heyman text line. That would probably be the last fight for Bud. 37 years old, probably be 38 at that point.
What's his record?
41-0.
So get 41-0. What's
41-0 and 31 knockouts.
Hold on.
This was the on Saturday. On Saturday, it was the first time in 8 years, I believe, that he had gone the distance.
Okay, so he's 41-0. How many knockouts?
31.
Okay. Can he? So one more fight, whatever you say, with Canelo. If that's his last fight, he'd be 42-0 if he wins, right?
Yeah.
Floyd Mayweather, 50-0, 27 knockouts. So he's already have more knockout wins than Floyd, but he's got to get 9 more fights at 37. That's how many fights can you get in a year?
2,
maybe 3.
I don't think you'd want to, especially at 37.
And you need 9 more. There's no way he doesn't get to 50.
So here's the ESPN article. It says Terrence Crawford scored a tightly contested unanimous decision victory over Israel Madrimov on Saturday at BMO Stadium to capture the WBA junior middleweight. 154 pounds is what they were at. Crawford, 41-0, 31 knockouts. ESPN's number 2 pound-for-pound boxer, prevailed by scores of 116-112, 115-113, and 115-113 to become a 4-division champion. It was Crawford's first distance fight since July 2016.
Wow.
When he outpointed Victor Postal in a 140-pound title match. He turns 37 next month. How dare I? My bad. 37 next month.
How dare you?
So for the last 11. So for example here, how about this? So the last time he went the distance was 8 years ago in 2016. 11 straight knockouts. And he had fought 11 times since July 2016. So to answer your question about how many fights can he get, he's had 2 fights in a year, just 3 of those years, 3 of those 8 years. That's tough.
That's tough. He's 10 years younger than Floyd, by the way. Floyd was born in 1977.
I don't know. I think it's
exhibition. Do the fight against Conor McGregor counted towards his 50-0. So if Bud, does this thing, gets 2 more fights, and then has 8 or 7 fights against non-boxing people, he could get to 50-0.
So, I mean, how about this? Just from the statistics of it,
if he wins his next fight,
from a percentage standpoint, Madrimov had landed more punches thrown. Madrimov landed 84 of 275, while Crawford landed 95 of 433. The man threw 433 punches on Saturday. And also that's with having the reputation of, all right, let's just feel out the opponent for a moment.
That's what he does.
Let's just feel him out. Crawford landed 40 jabs in 223 attempts. He landed 55 power punches in 210 power punch attempts. Madrimov there wasn't much volume there. 275 punches thrown. 91 of those were jabs. 184 of those were power punches. Just did not land them, or did not throw to the volume.
Mm-hmm.
And so ultimately, there you have it.
Was
Terrence
he
Crawford,
waiting for an opening? Like I said, I didn't watch the fight, unfortunately.
Gosh,
was he
Rico,
waiting? Was he
you
waiting?
gotta buy a pay-per-view
I
every
saw
now
the
and then.
highlights,
You
but
gotta
again,
buy a
it's not the fight.
pay-per-view.
Was Madrimov waiting for an opening? Is that why he didn't throw as many punches? Was he playing defensively?
I think he was just defensive. Now I will say Crawford came right out and fought out a southpaw.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can fight out a southpaw, you usually have a leg up.
Oh, yeah.
And Crawford's able to do so.
Throws people off.
It does. But I thought it was good. It was good. I thought it was worth the pay-per-view price. I did. The broadcast wasn't as electric as UFC is.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe the presentation was fine, but I was okay with it. I don't know. I'm starting to
You a boxing guy?
I'm starting to get into the boxing UFC world.
I watched boxing in the Olympics.
I really am.
boxing.
Like, I'm starting to find myself go, okay, yeah, you know what? Like, I want to continue watching this stuff. Like, I want to continue watching UFC. When's the next big card?
Mm-hmm.
When's the next one? Like, Adesanya fights in a couple of weeks. I'm going to ask you a trivia question. Are you ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
What country is Israel Adesanya?
Israel Adesanya.
From?
Country?
What country?
I couldn't tell you the country.
New Zealand.
Oh.
Adesanya.
I do know that he trains out of somewhere in Africa.
Mm-hmm. New Zealand. But anyway, so he fights in a couple weeks. So like, I'll probably buy that one because I'm getting into it. Plus, you get a couple buddies together, you just
Pull your money.
chip in, and it's like $15 a person.
Yeah, if you say so.
Unless you get unlucky and you have a Conor McGregor. You can't see Jay on the stream, can you?
No, you can't.
Okay, good.
Why? Is he being a fool?
Yes.
This guy.
But nonetheless, unless you get like the McGregor where he knocks him out within like 10 seconds of the
Yeah,
fight
and you're just like, well, now what?
that was the waste of money. All right,
But at least you got to see the other fights.
You're right. Let's take a break. When we come back, we talk Husker fall practice as they had the open practice on Saturday. Couple concerns from the fans over the week. A couple of curiosities as well around the football field. We'll dive into all that and more. Nick Sainert, Rico with you on the happy hour. Huge thanks to our friends at Empire Fence and Netting. Step aside. Come right back on 93.7 The Ticket.
Follow Nick and Enrique on Twitter at Nick_Sainert and at Radio Rico AC. More of Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports has quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of Local Union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today. Come enjoy a show of the Midwest's best MMA on Saturday, August 10th at the Complex, the former location of Champions Fun Center. 9 fights are scheduled for the night, including professional lightweight and welterweight bouts, and the main event of Donnie Bush versus Micah Washington in the professional welterweight championship bout. Doors open at 6 p.m. with first bout at 7 p.m. Learn more about the MMA fighters and buy tickets at thecomplexlincoln.com.
You can help fight deadly diseases like RSV and influenza while getting paid for your time. Velocity Clinical Research is now seeking clinical trial participants in your area. Participants can receive compensation for study-related time. No health insurance is needed to join. Find a study near you at velocitytrials.com. That's velocitytrials.com.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Are you tired of the same old entertainment options? How about something that's truly fun for both kids and adults? Nebraska Knockerball, the new place to go for your private and corporate parties. Step inside one of their inflatable spears and let out stress in a healthy form of exercise. Or try the human foosball, foot darts, yard pong, giant beer pong, basketball Connect 4, and much more. Nebraska Knockerball, specializing in physical, engaging fun. Call Nebraska Knockerball today at 402-460-8724 to learn more or book a reservation now.
Link to Literacy is gearing up for our second annual Wordstock event at Antelope Park on Saturday, August 24th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. This is a community-wide book swap with a festival feel located near the playground with a free bookstore in the enclosed shelter. It's fun for the entire family and for all ages. You'll enjoy food trucks, live music, kids' activities, a reading corner with celebrity authors and narrators, and of course, free books for all kids and adults. Go to linktoliteracy.org to get the full story and then make plans to attend Wordstock.
Our lives only have so much time, but if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter, and the time you do have is often filled with health problems. Shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
What's the radon level at your home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Make sure your home is safe with a radon check from Bryant. If you've already tested, ask Bryant for a free estimate for mitigation. Once completed, you'll get a report showing how much safer your home is. When it comes to radon, call Bryant, 467-1111 for testing and mitigation. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Are you a veteran looking for a new companion animal? A dog, a cat, or maybe something else? The Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs Vets Get Pets program can cover up to $350 of your pet adoption fees. Visit veterans.nebraska.gov/vetsgetpets to learn more about program requirements and how to apply. Want to help support the program? Get your Vets Get Pets specialty license plates from the Nebraska DMV. Sponsored by the Nebraska Department of Veterans Affairs. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
What's the radon level at your home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Make sure your home is safe with a radon check from Bryant. If you've already tested, ask Bryant for a free estimate for mitigation. Once completed, you'll get a report showing how much safer your home is. When it comes to radon, call Bryant, 467-1111 for testing and mitigation. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
You're listening to the Happy Hour.
Are you a big man? Huh?
I'm talking to you.
What? With Nick Sainert.
You wake up in the morning, you say, I put on my big boy pants. Look, I'm wearing a belt.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
You put on a little jacket, you go. You take your lunch because you got big boy pants on. You got your big boy pants and your snacks.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I can say big loud things. I can be demonstrative.
Welcome back into the happy hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. Nick and Rico with you. 402-464-5685, the Honda of Lincoln hotline, and the Starter Heyman text line are open for you guys the entire show today, as well as the Starter Heyman Jewelers live video stream, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Allo Channel 961. All available to you guys. Thunder Not Colin says, that may be my favorite intro ever. Thank you. Rico made it all.
Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Thunder Not Collins. I worked very hard on that one. It was hilarious. It took me a while. I kept listening to the clip over and over and over. Shout out to the other guys. Great movie.
Never seen it.
You need to. You'll like it.
I did rewatch Step Brothers over the weekend.
Better than Step Brothers.
Great movie. I don't know.
Better than Step Brothers.
Dad.
Even if there's a fire.
Yes. Even there's ever. Once again, 464-5685. All right, so
what are you doing?
I'm burying you. I'm alive. Anyway,
gotta wake the neighbors.
We could just sit here and quote.
We could. Okay.
Benchwarmers, Step Brothers, Sandlot.
I could quote the other guys. He can't apparently because he hasn't seen it. When you watch it, you'll quote it. Aim for the bushes.
Anyway, Austin's going to join me here in about 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so. So Rico can go to Nebraska Volleyball Open Practice, which I will say, Rico, you were not here last week when it was announced. 5 preseason All Big Ten selections.
Yes.
How about that?
2 of the 3 unanimous with Lexi Rodriguez and Merritt Beeson, who will be leading the charge, who are not going to Big Ten Media Days, as that is Lindsey Krause and Kennedy Orr, who have been on this team for quite some time. Kennedy Orr, obviously not the starting setter. That'll be Bergen Riley's, but somebody who has come back from an injury when she first, committed and got to Nebraska and has made herself a very valuable piece of the team, even if she's not starting at setter.
Here's the thing. Let's talk about that for a moment, because the fact that we were having conversations, Rico, 2 years ago, that what does the future look like for Kennedy Orr?
Mm-hmm.
Because she comes in as the number 1 setter in the country from the state of Minnesota and struggled right out of the gate. It looked like for a moment they were going to bring her in for serving. And now Bergen Riley came in, took over, and she stayed.
Mm-hmm. Well, if you remember, when Kennedy Orr first got here, she joins the team, goes through some practices, ends up, I believe it was tearing her ACL. She had a knee injury, kept her out for her entire first season at Nebraska. She comes back, looks to attempt to get that starting setter job, is struggling a lot of double contacts, which is something that she really struggled with, which now you can do that in NCAA. But she struggled with that for a while. So it was Ani Evans and Nicklin Hames who were running the 2-setter rotation for Nebraska for a while. Nicklin Hames, with COVID, Nicklin Hames stays an extra year. Ani Evans stays an extra year. Ani ends up transferring to San Diego when Bergen Riley, who's the number 1 setter in the country, joins Nebraska. It's a battle between Bergen and Kennedy. Kennedy has the advantage in terms of experience. Bergen, who had played on the senior world team down in Brazil while she was still in high school, comes in with that kind of experience. And then obviously when the season started this last year, Bergen Riley takes the starting setter job as a true freshman. There are thoughts that, I don't know if Kennedy's going to stick around or what's going to happen. She settles into her role, becomes a serving specialist and a defensive specialist, and is playing a vital role for Nebraska. She comes in tough situations and is serving extremely tough, serving extremely well for Nebraska. So it's one of those situations where you look at it and she could have utilized the transfer portal to get herself into a good situation. I mean, any school would have taken her. She's a former number 1 recruit in the country. Anybody would have taken her. She decides to honor that commitment to Nebraska, honor the vision that John Cook has for her, sticks around, and again is a very integral part in Nebraska getting to the national championship last year and attempting to repeat that again with a better finish this season as that serving specialist and just that very experienced, extremely experienced presence in the locker room.
So here's what's fascinating. So once again, Nebraska will speak tomorrow. Big Ten Volleyball Media Days, 2 days long, today and tomorrow. Today, the teams Iowa, Northwestern, Michigan, Illinois, Wisconsin, Rutgers, Michigan State, Penn State, and Maryland all set to speak today. Iowa and Northwestern, along with Michigan and Illinois, just wrapping up. Those 4 teams have went. Tomorrow, it's the 4 newbies: UCLA, USC, Oregon, and Washington, along with Minnesota, Purdue, Indiana, Ohio State, and the Huskers. Nebraska will speak at 11:30 Central Time tomorrow. As Rico said, taking Lindsey Krause and Kennedy Orr. You look down the list, and USC is bringing Allie Batenhorst. And so USC and Batenhorst will come to Lincoln.
Nice little reunion.
Yes, there you go. They play each other in Lincoln in the earlier going of the conference schedule this season. So there you have it. A lot of really good talent, as usual, in the volleyball world for the Big Ten Conference, but especially now this year with the additions of the 4 new teams: UCLA, USC, Oregon, and Washington.
Big Ten volleyball just got that much tougher.
So did the other sports too. Yeah, but volleyball for sure. As Nebraska starts their season just a couple of weeks, August 24th?
Yes.
24th against Kentucky. Potentially 27th.
27th.
It is the
24th is the
27th.
red-white.
Yes.
Yeah, 24th is the red-white scrimmage.
August 27th is the first regular season game down in Louisville against the Kentucky Wildcats.
Shout out to Craig Skinner.
402-464-5685 Honda Lincoln Hotline, the Starter Heyman text line open for you. Rico, I will ask you your thoughts on this.
Hit me.
Nebraska's wide receiver room. Confidence level of 1 through 10.
Ooh, we kind of went over this before. We didn't give a number. I would say the depth has me at about an 8.
Okay.
The experience puts me at about a 4.5.
I read these statistics earlier on the drive this morning with Raph, and I forgot, because sometimes we put it on the back burner during the offseason, then come back and we're like, okay, here we go. I forget that Billy Kemp, despite only playing 9 games for Nebraska last year, Billy Kemp still led the Huskers in receiving. 35 catches, 310 yards, and a touchdown for Billy Kemp, the Virginia transfer last year. So 35 catches, 310 yards. The next leader in receiving was Thomas Fedoni with 25, Alex Bullock with 15, and then you had just a jumble of guys in Emmett Johnson with 7 out of the backfield, 8 for Marcus Washington. Marcus Washington only played 6 games for Nebraska last season. Malachi Coleman only had 8 catches last year. Jalen Lloyd had 6 catches, 3 touchdowns, right? I look at now this year for Nebraska football, and there's improved optimism around the roster, I suppose, especially at the wide receiver position. Because, yes, you move on from a couple of guys. Billy Kemp is one of those. Joshua Fleeks is another one. However, Nebraska returns Thomas Fedoni, who looked the part on Saturday in their open practice. Marcus Washington is back for Nebraska. Malachi Coleman has another year under his belt. So does Jalen Lloyd. You have a true freshman in Ja'Cory Barney Jr.
Isaiah
Garcia Castaneda as well. And those are the guys that were here last year. Now you add in 2 transfers. One is very experienced, all ACC caliber type of guy in Jamal Banks. The other is Isaiah Nayor, who didn't pan out at Texas, worked a little bit better at Wyoming, and now transfers into Nebraska.
It's one of those situations where, again, there's a lot of bodies, not a ton of experience in terms of what was going on last year. Even with Isaiah Nayor and his success that he had at Wyoming, didn't work out too well at Texas. He got injured, then he only played a few games down at Texas, only had a couple receptions, if that. Jamal Banks is the one that, if I were a betting man, I would say that he's going to lead your team in receptions. He's going to be your number 1 receiver. And I feel like that's not, I wouldn't get very favorable odds on that. I feel like everybody feels that same way in terms of him being your number 1 receiver. But then after that, yes, you have Marcus Washington coming back, but he's coming back off of an injury. Isaiah Garcia Castaneda coming back off of an injury. And that's a guy who 2 years ago was on your team, then left your team, was allowed to come back by Matt Rule and staff, and then ends up getting hurt in the very first game of the season on his birthday, no less, against Minnesota. You have your Malachi Coleman's, who you want to feel extremely good about, your Malachi Coleman's and your Jalen Lloyd's, who you want to feel really good about in terms of having that experience as true freshmen last year due to all of those injuries, getting more playing time than they probably would have gotten if all of those athletes in the wide receiver room didn't get hurt. But it's kind of a silver lining of, okay, they got to experience the collegiate football grind and what it's like to prepare for a game that you're actually going to be playing in, and playing in that game in the terms of, okay, now you're entering year 2 with a quarterback who's actually going to air it out and might be able to get you the ball, as opposed to running your quarterback more often than not. I think that's a reason for some more continued optimism with this wide receiver group.
I just realized that I misspoke as I'm going through this. Marcus Washington's not a part of the team anymore. I got a text from our good friend Steve, and I just realized also, thank you, Steve. I realized as soon as I went down the list, Steve, appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve.
We'll talk to Steve on Wednesday, probably. Nice. He doesn't know it yet. I haven't texted him, but Steve,
he's listening.
Let me know if I can talk to you on Wednesday. There we go.
Will you be our friend, Steve?
He's typing. He's typing as we speak. Anyway, so I thought that one of the most interesting points that Marcus Satterfield made also during his press conference was talking about how last year they had to play this fine line game of guys that deserve to be sat after making mistakes, and then also playing guys that gave them the best chance to win. I thought that was a very telling quote from Marcus Satterfield last week on Thursday when we talked to the coordinators, solely because now you hear, whether it's Tony White, whether it's Marcus Satterfield, Matt Rule, Glenn Thomas also at the quarterback position, it talks a lot about depth. And Marcus Satterfield made the point of, if you mess up, if you make a mistake, you're not going to play. And he also added, he's like, we'll see then how you get back into the playing time rotation. And those types of comments are telling, because it's great to hear that in August. However, it also takes guys behind those starters that do get sat eventually to step up, because whether you're at the quarterback position, the running back position, wide receiver, offensive line, whatever the case may be, you can't have this dramatic drop off between QB1, wide receiver 1, and wide receiver 4, or wide receiver 2 and wide receiver 5. You can't have this dramatic drop off, because if you look specifically at Nebraska's quarterback position in the last couple of years, there has been one. Yeah. There has been a dramatic and significant drop between QB1, or quote unquote QB1, and QB2 on the roster. You hope that all this conversation surrounding depth, especially at the wide receiver position, it allows coaches to maybe be a little bit more, how do I want to put it? A little bit more aggressive on if you don't do your job, you're not playing.
On one side, it could be that those comments are just coach speak and they're just, saying these things. But on the other side, you could potentially read into this a little bit more and have a feeling that the coaches feel good about, really good about the depth at every position that they have, if they're willing to say, hey, if you turn the ball over, if you make a big enough mistake that it's going to cost us something, you're going to sit, because we have guys behind you who we have the utmost confidence in getting the job done.
Let's put a pin there. We'll continue this conversation, Rico and I, tomorrow. But for now, let's take a break. When we come back, Austin's going to join me as Rico heads off to volleyball's open practice for the media ahead of Big Ten Media Days when Nebraska speaks tomorrow in Chicago. So Austin will join me. We'll talk about the Chicago White Sox, the historic pace that they are on, not in a good way.
Not great.
They are not playing well. Once again, it's been a year exactly since Tim Anderson got decked by Jose Ramirez of the Cleveland Guardians. And since then, the White Sox are 44 and 120. Not a great record. They're not very good this year, and they've lost a lot of games in a row. We'll tell you all about it. Dive into some of the numbers with them. Also talk former Husker pitcher Spencer Schwellenbach carving it up in Major League Baseball. We'll dive into that, talk about Schwelly when we return. Austin will join me on the Happy Hour coming up next.
Download our app by searching 93.7 The Ticket in your app store to stay in touch and listen all day long wherever you are. More of the Happy Hour is next on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What's the radon level at your home? Don't know? Find out with a call to Bryant Air Conditioning and Heating. Make sure your home is safe with a radon check from Bryant. If you've already tested, ask Bryant for a free estimate for mitigation. Once completed, you'll get a report showing how much safer your home is. When it comes to radon, call Bryant 467-1111 for testing and mitigation. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. We do whatever it takes.
Are you looking to get into the electrical construction industry or wanting a new scene? The electrical workers of local union 265 are now hiring licensed journeymen and apprentices and are offering great pay and benefits. Call Mike at 402-875-1034 to apply. Start your electrical career today.
Step into healing at Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery. Our team of top-notch medical professionals turns pain into progress with state-of-the-art treatments and compassionate care. Visit prairieortho.com and discover the difference in quality orthopedic and plastic surgery services tailored to your unique needs. Your health matters, and Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery is dedicated to helping you thrive. Reach your full potential. Embrace a better tomorrow with Prairie Orthopedic and Plastic Surgery.
This is where it happens. Long hikes with friends, kayaking adventures with family, more horseback riding, zipline gliding, rock face climbing, hammock camping fun than you could ever imagine. And it's all outdoors, amongst the trees and across the prairie, here beneath Nebraska skies. Plan an outing today at yournebraskaadventure.com. Sponsored by Nebraska Game and Parks, aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
Ready to add a dash of Southern flavor to your week? At Wings and Rings, their brand new Southern fried wings have arrived for a limited time. Indulge in the irresistible goodness of large, traditional bone-in wings coated in a crispy beer batter and fried to perfection. Try them with hot honey or any other sauces. And for those busy summer days coming up, look no further than their Southern Fried Wings Family Bundle. Wings and Rings, 2 Lincoln locations on O Street or Village Lane.
Everyone should have a collection of something. For some, it's stamps or coins, expensive cars, or even watches. But for a lot of people, it's sports cards. And there's no better way to grow your collection than with the help of Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's first and only collector-first sports cards and memorabilia shop. Capital City Sports Cards connects collectors of all ages and demographics with unique collectibles sure to bring any collection to life, no matter the budget. Visit Capital City Sports Cards near 56th and Old Cheney or through their eBay storefront. Capital City Sports Cards, Lincoln's premier sports card and memorabilia store.
This is former Husker and NFL linebacker Jay Foreman. For years, I've suffered from degenerative problems in both of my ankles, but thanks to a thorough and thought-out plan provided by Advanced Medical Imaging, I was able to get my life back with the least amount of pain as possible. While working through multiple options, the team of physicians at Advanced Medical Imaging were there to answer any questions I had. If you're experiencing any pain at all and want to get your life back, go to amimaging.com or give them a call at 402-484-6677. Advanced Medical Imaging, located at 7601 Pioneers Boulevard.
Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits is your place in North Lincoln to go for all your needs in wine, spirits, and beer. They also have a large variety of cigars in their walk-in humidor, and they have a top-notch walk-in, temperature-controlled, high-end wine room. Plus, you can enjoy free samples from their tasting bar. There's only one place to go for all your needs for wine, beer, spirits, and cigars. Wall-to-Wall Wine and Spirits on North 27th Street in Lincoln.
Our lives only have so much time. But if you smoke, you have less. Your life could be 10 years shorter. And the time you do have is often filled with health problems. Shortness of breath, asthma, COPD, and cancer. But the minute you quit, your body starts healing.
Call the Nebraska Tobacco Quit Line, 1-800-QUIT-NOW, 1-800-784-8669. Paid for by Tobacco Free Nebraska. Aired with the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
As a proud member of the Roofing and Solar Reform Alliance, Coalition Restoration stands out by providing thorough property assessments, personalized customer service, and top-notch craftsmanship. With years of experience in the industry, Coalition Restoration has built a notable reputation for having a team filled with skilled professionals and possessing the expertise to handle any roofing project, big or small. Visit their website today for a free roof assessment at www.coalitionrestoration.com or give them a call at 402-607-8186.
Your home is your empire. Protect it with Empire Fence. Get a free instant quote with the online estimating tool at empire-fence.com. See an upfront estimate with no hidden fees. An Empire Fence can provide privacy and improve the appearance of your home. Keep kids and pets in or out of your yard. Increase security and add value to your property. Visit empire-fence.com now to view the stylish and maintenance-free possibilities for your home and get a free instant online quote. Let Empire Fence protect your empire.
You're listening to the Happy Hour with Nick Sainert.
Even before you start. That was a preemptive shh.
And Enrique Alvarez Clary.
I already had someone created in my image. He's evil, he wants to take over the world, and he fits easily into most overhead storage bins.
On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
On this Monday afternoon, we'd like to give a shout out to the Chicago White Sox and their 27-87 overall record. That's right, 27-87 overall. Nick Sainert, Austin Norman with you as we round out Monday's show here on the Happy Hour 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. The White Sox and the Athletics square off tonight. MLB's two worst teams. Whether that's in, the amount of money that they want to spend each offseason, whether that's the facilities that they live in, or just the baseball that they play, two of the worst teams in Major League Baseball are squaring off tonight. 8:40 p.m. first pitch for the Chicago White Sox at the Oakland Athletics. This comes off of a sweep by the Minnesota Twins over the Chicago White Sox. Jake Sorensen, our friend, our coworker, put out a tweet earlier today saying that the Royals and the Twins were a combined 24-2 this season against the Chicago White Sox, 12-1 apiece. The White Sox have only beaten those two teams twice in totality this season. The White Sox 27-87. Think about that for a moment, Austin. You are 13 games away from losing 100 on the season, and we are not even to the end of August.
Pedro Grifol has managed 276 career games. He is already 100 games below 500. His career record is 88-188. The Chicago White Sox are a blight on Major League Baseball. It is beyond embarrassing how bad they are. And you can't put all that on Pedro Grifol. You can't put all that on the players. A lot of the blame goes back to Reinsdorf.
Yes.
Why here Chris Getz is your general manager?
Yep.
I'm not anti Chris Getz, but clearly he was put in position where he was not able to succeed. The funniest part about that stat about the Royals and Twins going 24-2 against the White Sox is that they're 5-5 against Cleveland.
Yikes.
The Guards have lost 2.5 times as many games to the White Sox as the Royals and Twins combined.
So the Chicago White Sox are in the midst of a 20-game winning streak. The All-Star break is wedged in between there as well, but a 20-game losing streak. This all comes from The Athletic. It's headlined, how about this? Headlined, White Sox are streaking toward bad baseball history. How many games will they lose? They fell to 60 games under 500 on Sunday in a 13-7 loss to the Minnesota Twins. It says it might be the 130 loss dream, but that doesn't mean it isn't special. So once again, it says this verbatim. It must be hard to lose 20 games in a row. Before the White Sox came along, only 3 teams had done it in the last 80 years. The 1961 Phillies lost 23, the 88 Orioles lost 21, and the Montreal Expos in 1969 lost 20. How long has it been since the White Sox won a game? It has been so long, 26 days, that going into Monday, 193 different pitchers have recorded a win since the last time that the White Sox won one game.
The Boston Celtics lost 18 games all year in the NBA.
So how about this one? It says Dylan Cease has won 4 games since July 10th,
including a no-hitter.
His name might sound familiar because he was pitching for the White Sox as recently as spring training of this year. Aaron Judge has reached base 55 times since the last time the White Sox won a game. Ellie De La Cruz has stolen 13 bases, while the White Sox have stolen 11. And 56 pitchers have saved a game in that time when the White Sox were saving no games, which seems to be related to the fact that they were also winning no games. So here you go. I just, once again, just a historically bad stretch for the Chicago White Sox right now, Austin.
And this predates the All-Star break.
It does.
You know, they lost their first four, their last 4 games going into the All-Star break. And then they continued losing. It's
Bless you.
Thank you. You think about the 2003 Tigers that went 43 and 119. I don't want to say the White Sox are going to challenge that, but they might be knocking on the doorstep. Like you said, 13 losses away already?
Yeah.
Already, we're barely into August.
Yeah.
The first week of August.
They're still,
and they're at 87.
There's still 55 games left this season. They still
Okay,
have
so can they
55
lose?
games.
They'd have to go above 500 to not beat what? Okay, wait, no, bad math. They have to lose 13, 19. Okay, so they'd have to go 13 and 32 to tie the Tigers.
Well, because hold on one second, actually. I might have been
20,
off on that. So there's 114 games played, 162
so
minus
48.
114. So 48.
So 48 games left to lose 32 to tie the Tigers. Can they go to a 250 winning percentage?
Not a chance.
These are the Chicago White Sox you're talking about, my friend. They're 27 and 87.
They're 27 and 87.
Can they be even worse down the stretch than they are right now?
So, I mean, honestly, think about it this way. It's about the same. It is practically the same.
They're on pace.
They're on pace to be worse than the Tigers. Even if you were to lose, win a third of those games.
So it's 16.
16. You need to win 16 games, and they would be at
43.
45 wins.
I have it 27 and
27, excuse me,
yeah, 27.
43.
Which ties the Tigers.
Which ties it. So they just can't get swept. Sweeps are bad for the White Sox.
Here's the thing, though. I am actively rooting against that because the White Sox still play some contenders. So since the Royals are done, I wish they had more games left against the Twins.
You want to win.
I want the White Sox to win. Let's cap the White Sox at 100 losses. Okay,
So
they can win 35 games here down the stretch.
They cannot.
I believe.
What a
I
turnaround.
believe.
What a turnaround.
Hey, give them some credit. Their Pythagorean record is 31 and 83. So that's 4 games improvement.
If I were to ask you how many games back in the AL Central they were, what would your answer just off the top of your head be?
Wait, I saw this. So the Royals are 5 back of Cleveland.
Yep.
And the Royals have won 63 games. So Cleveland's either at 67 or 68.
Mm-hmm.
So that would put them like 40 games back.
41 and a half games back.
Yikes. 41 and a half in August.
In August. In the early parts of August.
The first week of August. Oh no.
27 and 47. Or excuse me, 27 and 87 rather. The next worst team, just to give you an idea, the Colorado Rockies at 41 and 72. They are 24 and a half games back in the NL West. 17 games better than the Chicago White Sox.
It's kind of wild to think about the Rockies while we're there because they had that one run in like the early mid 2000s where they were solid. But other than that, you've seen the Broncos build contenders. You've seen the Avalanche win a Stanley Cup. The Nuggets obviously have, arguably the best player in basketball.
Yes.
And then there's the Rockies, which goes to show you just how different a game baseball is now. What's the elements affect the game of baseball specifically? Like, altitude matters in football for endurance, and I'm sure the punts and the passes fly a little bit differently, but not as dramatically differently as baseball. The Rockies can't find anyone to actually throw a decent breaking ball 81 times a year.
It's crazy to look at just the gap between the worst team in Major League Baseball and the second worst team. It's the difference of 17 games. That is a wide margin. That is such a wide margin. There's also Tommy Pham, who got traded from the White Sox to the Cardinals, I believe is who it was. He is 8 for like 14 in his first couple at bats, in his first couple of games with the
Grand
Cardinals.
Slam.
Yeah, just been playing well. Just get out of Chicago, the South Side, not the North Side. Stay in the North Side, South Side, and just instantly improve your career.
It does make me wonder, inside the mind of a professional athlete. You know, they're pros, you know, they're going to show up every day and do their job. It's what they're paid to do. But just how much of a spark is it? Like Paul DeYoung, right? Walking across the field one day from 40 games out to in the thick of the wild card race and only, you know, a good week back in the division.
Yeah.
What does that do for you mentally? Like, how much does that spark say, hey, wait, there's actually something to play for? How does that change the work? I would love to know the psychology of an athlete like that.
And it's probably unfortunate because we'll never know a true or honest answer. But honestly, I mean, it's been a lot of craziness this year with the Chicago White Sox. Another storyline, and this one might hit a little closer to home for Husker fans, is Spencer Schwellenbach. Schwelly is obviously still with the Braves, still in the majors. 4-5 overall this season with the Atlanta, the pro club. 4.04 earned run average in 11 starts. He's thrown 64 2/3 innings with 70 strikeouts, has a whip of 1.04. I would say this, Austin, has the strikeout stuff working, though.
He absolutely does. For a guy that wasn't supposed to be up in the rotation, right? He was supposed to be another year away, got called up with injuries, and Atlanta is kind of in a rough spot. I'm surprised they're as firmly in the playoff picture as they are right now.
Yeah.
So what a bright spot for them to have Schwelly come up and do something that hasn't been done in Major League history. Since 1900, the modern era of baseball, Schwelly, 3 nights ago now, became the first pitcher with 70 or more strikeouts and 10 or fewer walks within their first 11 career appearances. He's also the only MLB rookie since 1900 to strike out 8 batters or more without a walk in 3 straight starts.
My goodness.
That's command. That's control. That's
stuff
strikeout
that keeps you in the league.
Keeps you in the league.
It doesn't
even
matter
if he's a bullpen guy.
And even if he is under 500 at 4-5, that's fine. Keeps you in the league because you throw strikes.
He's essentially a high strikeout 4th starter.
Yeah.
Right now, again, on short notice, call up to the big leagues when he's supposed to be an extra year of seasoning away. That's an incredible.
And also
debut.
off of a Tommy John injury, right?
Right.
And so there's another piece there. They being the Braves just put Reynaldo Lopez on the IL as well today. So their bullpen took another hit. So I mean, yeah, once again though, Braves are in the thick of it still. But Spencer Schwellenbach playing well, and despite the 4-5 record, there's a lot of injuries with the Atlanta Braves that are notable on there. But yeah, no, once again, 70 strikeouts and less than 10 walks.
Are you surprised that? Again, I know it's early in both of their careers. It's only been 8 games for Povich. Are you surprised that Schwellenbach had better results early than Povich?
Ooh. I don't know how to answer that one.
I'll give you my thoughts and let you think about it,
yeah,
right?
Please do.
Povich isn't necessarily an overpowering guy,
No.
so I'm not surprised he struggled early in his career, right? We knew Schwellenbach had the velocity. We knew he had the slider. I'm surprised he's been able to stretch it out as long as he has into some of these outings.
Okay.
I thought he would have been more an opener type of guy. Maybe, you're hoping for 4 or 5 innings out of him, but he's gone 6 or 7. It's unfortunate that a guy like Povich has struggled, but I'm not necessarily shocked because he's going to end up being a command control guy more than a stuff guy. So as he's still learning how to pitch to major league hitters, as he's still refining his command and control, how his pitches move, where he can place them, I think Povich is still a couple years away from learning that. I'm glad he got the experience, but I think Schwellenbach's pure stuff, I think it's easier to learn the pitchability on the fly than it is, Povich, where I think it's going to be hard for him to improve his stuff, so he's got to get better at the margin.
I think it's actually pretty crazy to that point because we knew Schwelly as a bullpen guy. And you look at their statistics and their game logs, and it's flip-flopped basically, right? To where you have Schwelly being able to go later into games. Cade Povich hasn't been able to make it out of the 5th inning a lot of times, right? And whether that's not always such a bad thing nowadays because bullpens are pretty bulky nowadays in Major League Baseball. But I mean, you look at the numbers, right? Just 37 1/3 innings pitched. I wouldn't be surprised. So just for context, so people know, before you get DFA'd, designated for assignment, you get to go back up or back down and then back up to the majors, back and forth 3 times. You have 3 options is what they call them. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see them eventually use one of those options, send him back down to AAA Norfolk, the AAA affiliate of the Baltimore Orioles, and say, hey, let's refine on a couple of things. We got some taste in the big leagues. Let's go back to the drawing board. What do we need to refine? What do we need to continue to develop?
and then let's give you another opportunity.
And he was one of the guys that Baltimore really believed in trading trading Jorge Lopez away.
Yes, at the deadline. He was part of the deadline trade.
Right. He was part of that package. So I don't think Baltimore is going to give up on him. And while we're on the topic of Huskers, I keep waiting for the bottom to fall out on this whole Matt Waldron knuckleball experiment.
I know.
He is more than holding his own. I mean, 7-9 with an ERA under 4, 116 strikeouts in 128 innings. I am continually amazed by the fact that Matt Waldron goes out there. And again, he was solid in college, right? Good pitcher. I did not see this coming from Matt Waldron. I am so thrilled for him that the ride continues and that the bottom hasn't fallen out yet.
Well, I also would say that it's an effective pitch to save your arm also. Like it doesn't have this snap movement of the wrist or at the elbow as well. It's more of you just kind of push it and you guide it a little bit more. And so he's been able to have as much command as you can with a knuckleball, but it's effective and it's continuously and consistently effective, which we haven't seen very often. Obviously, the knuckleball since like
Tim Wakefield,
R.A. Dickey. Didn't Kyle Wright throw one?
I don't know. I'm curious to see if he comes back with the Royals next year.
I can't remember who threw one. It was somebody for the Braves threw one. Maybe I'm thinking R.A. Dickey in his later stages of the career, because he was with the Braves at one point. But no, I mean that's the thing is it feels like just every couple of years a guy comes along and he has the ability to throw it. R.A. Dickey was able to have a really good year out of the knuckleball and for the most part stay healthy during that time. So if Matt Waldron is able to find a formula that works for him, I'm all in, right? Like, why wouldn't you? And so you're right. He's gotten to a point to where he is a staple for the San Diego Padres right now and doing something unique that's going to get him a spot on the team for a couple of years to come.
He leads all of baseball in games started. Every trip through the rotation he's been available to make, he has made it. And the reason I brought that up was because last year he gave up 9 home runs in 41 innings. That's rough.
Yeah.
He was getting up 15 home runs this year, but in almost 130 innings, he's cut the home run rate pretty drastically. His ERA is down like a run and a half over last year. His ERA plus is up like 10%. His FIP, which is the most important one, the fielding independent pitching, it looks at your walks, your strikeouts, and your home runs allowed. That's down, a full 1.5, getting close to 2. So again, if you tell me that Matt Waldron is running out an ERA under 4 in the major leagues right now, who's to say you couldn't do this for another 5-6 years?
Well, and I mean, from an organization standpoint too, where like this is my thing from an organization standpoint, Matt Waldron, an Omaha native, by the way, went to Nebraska, was drafted by the Cleveland Indians in the 18th round in 2019. 18th round overall pick, 550th in the 18th round. Excuse me. In his minor league career was 14-28 on the bump with a 5.52 earned run average. This season, still a little bit of a losing record, but looked a little deeper than that. 7-9 record on the mound, 3.79 earned run average, well below his career average. In 23 games, 128 and a third innings pitched, 116 strikeouts, as Austin said. I mean, his debut didn't come until June of 2023, I believe, is when Matt Waldron broke into the league. And he's been able to do this now. Once again, that consistent piece, availability, ability, all that stuff. It's there.
Yeah, and he's still rookie status,
man,
which is kind of crazy to think about. Matt Waldron, National League Rookie of the Year?
Hello.
Probably not. But.
So, I mean, and here's this from an organization standpoint, didn't maybe expect to get a whole lot of run out of him like they are now, but also from a financial standpoint, Matt Waldron's making $741,000 this year. This is a contract year for Matt Waldron. Obviously, a lot of these guys it is that just get these 1-year chances. He signed a 1-year, $741,800 contract with the San Diego Padres, all of it guaranteed. That's not a whole lot out in San Diego. Like that is not a whopping amount to play for the Padres.
No.
But yet he's going to get a larger and potentially more lengthened contract at the end of this season.
And he's a guy that I think can bounce around the league for a while, even if it's not with San Diego. Teams are going to take a look at this, and if they believe in their catcher's ability to block really and call a game, there's always going to be room for a solid, durable 4th or 5th starter type like Matt Waldron, his profile is exactly the type that can stick in the league for a while as long as that pitch doesn't, he doesn't get the yips with it and lose it.
Yeah, I completely agree. All right, Austin, what's coming up on the show today?
We are going to talk about some college football teams in some trouble. Colorado potentially and Michigan as well. With everything going on down in Ann Arbor. This is such an awkward setup. If you need to be on stream to see what I'm attempting to do here.
You just got to go to the side for a little bit.
There we go. Just hit that.
There
we go. All right. We will also talk about Husker football open practice. If Dylan Raiola's QB1, does Nebraska just let it rip? Do they need to ease him in at all? Or do they say, nope, go get him, let it rip, airing it out? And then Brian Munson, Husker Online, I saw someone post a picture of Bubba Starling. So I went a little back in the day, how different could Nebraska football be today if Bubba Starling was the quarterback instead of Tommy Armstrong?
There you have it. Bubba Starling, the Royals guy. But that'll do it for us here on the Happy Hour. Thanks to Rico. Thanks to Austin for joining me. As always, thanks to you guys for chiming in on the text line. Make sure you continue to do so throughout the rest of the day. Enjoy your Monday. We'll be back on Tuesday, 1 p.m. tomorrow. Myself and Rico. This has been the Happy Hour on 93.7 The Ticket.
I'm softball player Jordy Ball, and I'm proud of my Nebraska roots, and I'm proud to be back home. And at Midwest Bank, they're proud to be your local community bank. They believe in family first, taking initiative, showing integrity, and rolling up their